Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Resident Alien Season 1, Episode 10. It's actually the season finale of Resident Alien Season 1, Episode 10, Heroes of Patience. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, what YouTube does, takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, if you want to know when I'm be on live again, next, you hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media. So Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. No tier set on the Patreon. Wait until I hit 1,000 subscribers, which keeps going back and forth, back and forth. Hopefully it'll get there soon. Because once that happens, then I'm actually going to put some stuff in there for you guys. When you give me money, I'm going to give you stuff in return. Also, I have links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episodes. If you have not seen the episodes, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. All right. Yeah, we got it. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Good. Yes. All right. So, Harry's got the device. It's all ready to go. Darcy has seen the original Harry in the freezer and calls the cops, of course, calls over the sheriff, and Sheriff Thompson and, Deputy Baker has gone over there. They're taking a look. And of course, there's no body because Harry is no dummy. And he's actually put the body up in the rafters, taking it out of the freezer. And Darcy starts questioning whether or not she's going nuts. Yeah. In the meantime, Asta's getting more and more, I don't know. She's getting mixed messages from Harry at this point and doesn't know what to make of it. And Harry is just, he's having a dilemma as well because he keeps procrastinating on pushing the button. Because once he pushes the button, he's got 90 minutes before the world ends, which was kind of a nice little MacGuffin that they put in there. But anyway, he can also direct a beam so he can kill one individual human just to test it out, which he finally does test out on his the body, the original Harry's body, and disintegrates him after a little bit of conversation with that Harry about what love is, and pretty much all of that. So in the meantime as well, we've got Lisa and David. They decide to just take the direct approach and go after Max and find out where the alien is. They really want to know where the alien is. And of course, Max's mom, Kate, comes down when this is all going down. And Elisa, being who she is just going to kill everybody once she gets the information anyway. And of course, Ben shows up, her husband, the mayor, and they beat the shit out of Lisa and David. Of course, Ben had called the sheriff, and the sheriff's like, "I'll be there in 5." And he's like, "Don't know if they're going to make it in that amount of time, but still." Penn says the internet's been wonky. Oh, okay. The live stream might be a little bit on my end too, Penn. So that might be some of the problem as well. I'm noticing the time was doing a little jump at the beginning here, but it looks like it's stable now. Fingers crossed. We'll see. So yeah, basically what it ends up being. So, also at the very beginning of all of this, my prediction of the human Harry, was the one that actually poisoned, Sam Hodges, his insulin supply, put the botulism in it. Now, we don't know if he was working with Abigail or not, but at least we know that theory that I had panned out. And we find out that Harry's in love with Asta. He actually tells her that, that's what he feels when she's getting ready to leave, when she gets pissed at him. She finds out that he really is there to destroy the world and, well, basically kill everyone. Not really destroy the world, but just kill humans, kill all humans. And she ends up talking him out of it, eventually once he turns back into alien form. And, you know, he needs to get rid of the device, of course, at this point, because the device has about like 90 seconds left before it's going to go off. So he's got to take off in his ship and go up. And when he does and gets rid of it, who's stowed away on board but Max? And I agreed with the same sentiments that Harry had. Was this is some kind of bullshit? Yes, I agreed on that wholeheartedly. It wasn't a bad ending. I mean, we kind of knew where it was going, but and the whole thing with Jay kind of wrapped up a little bit too. Jay didn't know if she wanted to talk to Asta. She was really didn't want to talk to Jimmy, of course. And so she ends up talking to Darcy, who's having her own existential crisis. And Darcy kind of talks her through it and says, everything's going to be good with you. You just need to work through it, kind of thing. And basically they destroy Jimmy's car and probably get someone else killed at the same time. But yes, he did bequeath onto her some pizza as well. I agree with you, Raymond. Yes. And that pizza just looked really nasty too. It had a really thick, I mean, it looked like it was one of those ones that someone put focaccia bread down and then put pizza on top of it. It looked really nasty. Anyway, Raymond says, you think there will be a way for Harry to completely transform into a human? I say this because there's spaceshippers. Oh yeah. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. At least that wasn't in the comic, if I remember correctly. I only read the first 2 volumes, if I remember correctly, and I know there's like 3 or 4 more volumes out there now. So they basically, the guys who created this, they only did them in batches of 3 comics. So every volume had 3 or 4 volumes. Every volume had 3 to 4 comics to them. There we go. And I read the first 2 volumes, and I know they're up to like, I think volume 6 now. So I haven't read the rest of them. But yeah, I mean, it was funny. I mean, it has its moments, and there's still a few things that are wonky here and there, but for the most part, it's actually good. And we're fleshing out the townspeople a little bit more. Some stuff has been dropped to the side, like Sheriff Thompson's dad. I don't even know why they brought that in the first place, but they did. Yeah. So there's little things here and there that they had kind of brought in, then they kind of forgot about them, these little storylines, and then they're going to work on them in season 2. Who knows? But yeah, hopefully they think it out a little bit more for the second season and get some tighter storylines going on in. And I actually didn't mind Sahar in this episode. But the thing was, they kind of wrote her older in a way, a little more sassier, I guess you could say. And that was, I was okay with that for some reason. I don't know why. But Max still annoyed the shit out of me. Go figure. There you go. So yeah, like I said, it's got a season 2. It's coming out. This one was fun. I mean, we got to see Alien Harry interact with Asta and Max. And also Dr. Ethan Stone, the whole thing with Max, and you could see this one coming from a mile away, that he was going to basically tell Lisa and David that Dr. Stone is actually the alien. You saw that coming from a mile away. And of course, General Wright ends up kidnapping Ethan and taking him God knows where, because as she says, she's not working for the government because the government was just going to bury it if they found out. Yeah. Raymond says, I was surprised they never got into immigration issues. Why would they get into immigration issues? That isn't anything they need to get into. So what's up with the government? So I don't know what see, that's the whole thing with General Wright. She was acting outside of the government. She says the government knows that nothing about the military had nothing to do with what she was doing. She was working outside the military. So it'll be interesting to see what her take on this. If we get that on season 2, we don't know. Hopefully Linda Hamilton signed up for the second season as well. Because she played a way too small of a part in season 1. I think she needed a bigger part in season 1. There could have been some other places that we shimmied down the storyline on some areas. Like we could have gotten rid of, Sheriff Thompson's dad. We could have really put the Jay thing to bed a long time ago. That could have happened like in episode 4. We could have wrapped up the whole Jay storyline and still had the same outcome. But go figure. Raymond says, yeah, like where did she acquire all those resources? That's a good question. The other thing I did like too was when Darcy thought that Harry and Asta had killed some guy, and she's like, well, tell you what, I know a guy in Juneau. We can get across the border to Canada. Go to this guy I know in Juneau. I've got $1,000. That'll get us 3 passports. We could disappear. Yeah, and Asta's kind of like, okay, good to know. Strangely specific, but good to know. And I really did love Darcy's the stuff that was going on in this episode. Her whole questioning her sanity, and at the same time, just also questioning her life choices. And especially when she's just sitting there with Ben on the bench, and kind of mulling over her life choices, and he's just telling her, "You didn't do bad. You're actually doing good right now, and you could do better. You just need to, take the reins," is what he's saying, and guide yourself, and do what you want to do, and do what makes you happy. Yeah, which is a good motto for everybody out there. It's a good advice for anybody else out there too. So, yeah, don't wait for shit to happen. Make it happen. There you go. So, yeah, that was it for the season finale. What else do I have going on this week? Well, tomorrow is going to be another episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Also on Saturday is going to be Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. Sunday is going to be Invincible episode 4, which I saw is already up. It's already up right now, as a matter of fact. So I'm probably going to watch that. I'm going to actually do a new Monday cast here called I'm going to cover the first 3 episodes of Made for Love is what it's called. It's on HBO. Now, you might not have heard of it. I didn't hear about it until I read a little article on it. It's Kristen Melody, the one who played the mother from How I Met Your Mother. She is in these half-hour episodes. It's on HBO Max, of a woman who is married to a tech billionaire, and he has implanted a chip in her brain that can feel emotions. Also, it can see what she sees, hears what she hears. Pretty freaky. And she escapes from him and is being chased down by him. And it's played as a dark comedy. I watched the first episode already, and it's strangely interesting. So I'm going to cover those first 3 episodes on Monday. Tuesday is going to be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's going to be Godzilla versus King Kong, because that's out as well. Wednesday, I'll be off. Thursday, I'll be off. And there we go. That's about as far as I'm going to go there. And we'll do it from there. Because, the 11th is also going to be the Nevers. So, there's a lot of stuff coming out. Yeah. Derp is right. Apple Crow. There's a lot of shit out there right now. Sounds like Black Mirror meets Invisible Man. It's actually, it's really hard to describe, Raymond. Watch the first episode. It's only 29 minutes long. you can tell me what you think on that one. I'm gonna cover the first 3 episodes on Monday, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I just kind of decided to do it today. So I actually watched it before this show, before I did this one. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Applecrow says, I felt like this ending was going to go a lot of different places, and then it didn't. Yeah, like I said, that's what I was telling you, Applecrow. I think we had this conversation the last episode, right? Where I said there's all these different things that we're thinking about that are kind of pie in the sky ideas, I guess you can say. And I knew because they were sci-fi that they were going to go for the low-hanging fruit and don't have the money in order to do all the other stuff, but can do the most basic ending on this. Unfortunate but true. If this had been on like Amazon, would have had a spectacular ending. We probably would have had a spectacular show, much more spectacular than what it is. Again, if it wasn't for Alan Tudyk in any of this, like headlining this, I don't think the show would have survived beyond the first season. Really. There's I mean, not disparaging the other actors at all, but he kind of makes it really something you want to go back to and watch again. Because anybody else in the role, I don't know if they would actually be able to do it, quite frankly. And it would suffer from that. It would really suffer from not having Alan Tudyk in this role. All right. So with that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. What do we got here? Applecrow says, sorry, I meant dirt because I just got here. So, you missed most of the discussion. I got it. Raymond says, I agree, but Asta and Darcy shine too. Yeah, I agree with you, Raymond. Don't get me wrong. Sarah, and I'm blanking on her name now all of a sudden. Luckily I've got a IMDb list up there. Sarah Tomko, excuse me, and Alice Wetterland are great in this. Also, Judy, love Judy. She cracks me up. Gary Farmer. There's a great bunch of actors in all of this. It's just their characters weren't written well. And if you didn't have a strong lead anchoring all of this and having it focused on that lead on a strong, anchor, I don't think it would have survived. Yeah. Applecrow says, I will say the sheriff and the deputy was the best love story of the season. I don't know. The whole Asta Harry thing, while creepy, was also funny and also a little touching, I guess you could say. So, yeah. All right. Now I'm really going to let you go. Thank you, everybody. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. If you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can't, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there and all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages too. Applecrow says, Harry and Asta was a whole. Will they? Can they even? Yes, I know. But you knew it was coming. You kind of knew it was coming. It was kind of telegraphed there. It wasn't going to happen for Darcy and him. So, yeah. And the whole Isabel thing. So we still need to know why human Harry killed Sam. Also, who were the men that came to Isabel's door looking for Harry, for human Harry? Because we still haven't gotten that answered either. There were a lot of things that weren't answered in this this whole thing. So that they just kind of brushed aside. And yeah, they did give us that Harry was the one that poisoned Sam, but why? We didn't get any of the whys on this. So we never will, probably. I don't know. We probably will in season 2, but it's probably going to be half-assed. I'm hoping that I don't think they know. I think they kind of wrote themselves into a corner on that one. You think it's the mob? I think it's drug dealing, is what it is. Prescription drug dealing is what I'm thinking it is. And I'm pretty sure that Abigail Hodges has nothing to do with this at all. Any chance the wife will be pregnant for season 2? Isabel? I don't know. Possibly. That could be interesting. Yeah. Raymond KS says he was into some sort of art scam. I don't think it was the art scam, man. I really do think it was drugs, because they paid too much attention to the prescription drug pads, and you're not going to have that, going through multiple episodes if it's not going to pay off somewhere down the line. And I don't think Jimmy had anything to do with that. I think he was just on a periphery of what was going on, really, and it's got more to do with Sam and the human Harry and that whole thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't have focused on it so much. But then again, like I said, I don't really think they've thought it out completely. So that's why they kind of scrapped it for the last episode and didn't. They kind of threw us a bone on one thing, but didn't really, embellish it any more than that. Applecrow says, I think we both remarked on that it felt like a lot of the writing was sort of written for the moment, things that would have never called. Yeah, it would never be called back to. Exactly. Yeah. Artist takes drugs, man. I know, man. I was in art school. Trust me. Some of my teachers were pretty fucking high and not on pot. Penn says they could go anywhere, but prescription drugs makes the most sense. Yeah. You have an old doctor like Sam Hodges. I don't think he's going to be doing, artwork scams or something like that, especially if he's living out in Patience. But drug dealing, prescription drug dealing, I think that actually kind of fits fairly well. And again, like I said, this is SyFy or NBC Universal, however you want to call it, and they're going to go with the simplest tactic whatsoever and the cheapest, because it is SyFy, like I said. Although who knows, they might throw some more money at it at season 2. But then again, if I remember correctly, SyFy usually ends up cutting the budget in season 2 for some reason for shows, even though they're popular. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking about when they're doing that. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. So, all right, everybody. Now, really, I am going to let you go. It's a Minnesota goodbye now at this point. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again on, tomorrow. Was that tomorrow? Yes. Today's Thursday. That's right. I forgot what day it was. Jesus. I will see you again tomorrow on Friday for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find some little shit stowed away in your UFO as you're trying to make your way back home. And you're going to have to take them out and, or take them back home. One of the two, because you've grown emotionally attached to them at this point. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you again tomorrow. Stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, and get those vaccines if you can. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.